All right. You goons hear me? All right, Escalade, you say you hear me, so I'm going to trust you this time. I'm going to trust you. Now, the facial hair. Apparently, this is something that changes periodically, but yes. Thanks, NCX. You had me there in the first half. But yeah, no, I did not miraculously regrow a mustache or grow out my sideburns. I have to reset it, and then we can play the game. What facial hair does Manshark have today? Yeah, my kids go nuts about it. That's for sure. Hey, check it out though. We've got some more StarCraft coming in hot. We're doing some more tier one. There's been a lot of I don't know how to put it nicely, but like a lot of bitching and moaning and complaining and whining that there's not enough tier one matches being streamed. And so we're going to be doing some of those today. And we have Zero Effort Zealot Rush, best team, up against the big Naturals. They have a really big personality on that team. And so we're going to get to see these two teams clash. Up first, we're going to have Anto versus Gabagoon. It's going to be a wonderful ZVT. Can't get more classic than that. And then we're going to have JJSair playing Protoss up against Chimera playing Terran. And then we've got Lise playing Protoss against FridgeRaider playing Terran. And then we've got Mutaller versus Skler. These are going to be banger games. I recognize pretty much almost every name on this list, and I'm really, really excited to get them going. So I think I've done a decent job of at least preparing by having StarCraft up and running this time. So we've got that going for us. I just need to find the replays real quick, and we will get this show on the road. Yeah, okay, so I found the replays. Excellent. Let's go ahead and do our anthem, because it wouldn't be a cast with me without our CPL anthem. And then we'll jump straight into Anto and Gabagoon. I'll do the scorecard and all that crap while we're watching people mine for the first 3 minutes. But everyone, show some respect to the CPL organization, the best foreigner Coach-Pupil League that exists. And let's listen to the anthem. Let it get that heart pounding.
Winners rise and losers fall, reflexes sharp, minds and flaw. Gamers play this.
Thanks,
never
Albert.
ends.
Let's get into some freaking games. All right, game one, Gabagoon versus Anto. We're going to be starting off on Polestar. It's the best star that there is. Trust me, there's none like it. It's a beautiful star. People tell me all the time, they're like, man, your Polestar, it's enormous, it's huge, I love it. Now, of course, I got to fix the scorecard. So everyone sit here. Let's go ahead and watch Gabagoon mine for a few minutes while I get this scoreboard over the map all prettied up. So we got Anto. He's playing Zerg. Team ZEZR for Zero Effort Zealot Rush. And then we've got Gabagoon playing Terran, the honorable race, playing for big naturals. What all people want more of in this world. We've got Polestar as the map. CPL 12. Week 5, Tier 1. All right. Looking Gucci. All righty. Hopefully everyone... Oh, you guys can't hear the game either. Let me fix that. All right. Now everything should be awesome. Happy-go-lucky. Here we are on Polestar 4-player map. Not to be confused with those other maps. And we've got Gabagoon representing the big naturals up here in the top right as our red Terran. Thank you for playing in top versus bottom so we don't have to look at pink versus light blue gray. And then up here in the top left, our Zerg player representing the Zero Effort Zealot Rush is going to be Anto, starting off there with a nice little extractor trick. I remember the extractor trick, you know, I was like 12 years old or something, and I learned that, and I was like, man, I'm so good. I'm going to be like JJSair with this extractor trick. Felt very good. And then I changed races to Terran, and I haven't been happy or had a good feeling moment ever since. God, I hate this game. It's so rough on the ego. Alright, we've got a drone heading down here to the bottom left. We've got an overlord going up here to the top right. We've got a barracks. We've got a refinery. We've got a refinery. Oh, interesting. We also have Gabagoon kind of walling off his main. Maybe see some mech play. Maybe see some double Wraith. Maybe see some Valkyrie rushes. We're going to have to wait to find out because we got six lings coming right off the bat here from Anto, and they are speeding across the map. We'll see if they get hung up here on this SCV that's coming in. They might as well with that kind of pathing. Excellent. Scored an SCV, little speed bump, and they're on their way. Also, Zerg Hatchery going down here at the natural. So his drone is seen, it's not at the bottom left. The Overlord hasn't seen anything at this natural. The drone poking in here is getting confirmation, so the lings are going to the right place. They're going to come up here and they're going to be like, wait, what? And it's all walled off. Information denied. Meanwhile, we do have a factory going down. Nice and on time at 16 supply. Gas still mining. Oh, baby. And I think that, now I've played Gabagoon Terran vs. Terran, and he has done things where he'll do, like, barracks double fact into starport. He likes getting wraiths out, at least in that matchup. We'll see what he goes for here. Double starport! Right off the rip! Dr. Dan, nice to see ya. First time chatter. Yeah, it's true. So I didn't give an overview of the team records, but this is going into week 5. At this point in time, the Big Naturals are 4-0 as a team, and the Zero Effort Zealot Rush are not 4-0. All right, this Vulture doing work here. NCX, you got to remember we're a week behind when we cast. We cast back in time. All right, we got another hatchery going on up here in the main. We've got a lair starting here for our Zerg hero. Vulture poking in, going to look around. Now, he did take some hits from the Zerglings, so he can't try a run by. So even though the Zerglings died in a puddle of glory, they did exactly what they needed to do against this Vulture to at least prevent it from getting in and getting drone kills. Now, there is a buddy coming up here. Not quite a boy band, but a pair of Vultures. We're going straight into Hydras. So likely to see some lurker play up against this mech build, but maybe not the right tech choice. If he's thinking it's going to be like a Goliath build, the lurkers would be good. But facing up against these wraiths, yeah, the Hydralisk will be good. But he's going to have to get Spire up at some point. All right, here come the Wraiths now. This is going to be so annoying for our Zerg player, immediately having to pull his drones down to the natural. And it's not like there's anything down here that can defend against these Wraiths either. And if anything, they're closer to these Vultures. I don't know what the range is on this Sunken, but if the Vultures can get up behind here, might be able to knock out some more of these drones. Now, Hydralisks are popping. Gabagoon trying to be careful with these Wraiths, getting an Overlord while he's at it. And this is just so annoying for Anto, right? He's got one gas up. That's going to get the drones on there potentially sniped. And he's having to wiggle around with these little snake dudes to spit up as his only anti-air. Not to mention, he's a little supply blocked, having to wait on this Overlord. The overall super strong start. Hydra's getting a lot of damage, killing one Wraith. Knocking another one down very low. Yeah, we're going to see if he can snipe a second Overlord. That would be really inconvenient for our Zerg player. He keeps kind of circling back in here, catching a drone. Oh, man. All right, now as Hydralisks come up, it looks like our Zerg player is going to potentially stabilize, but the Wraith production is starting to get a little out of control. We have a dropship on the way, an additional Wraith, and I haven't seen Cloak yet, but Cloak I don't think would be overly helpful since, you know, there's Overlords everywhere. All right, so we do have the Spire. being morphed in over here in the main base behind the mineral line. But I fear for a vulture drop. Oh, it looks like we might be doing Marines. Few Marines getting loaded up into the dropship. Now, Gabagoon's still on one base. So, I mean, like, the drone's sitting at 20. There's been a lot of drone damage. Oh, man, another Overlord going down. Putting the supply at 27 to 19 for our Zerg player. And this is a nightmare. 2-port Wraith is super annoying. Getting a Overlord dropship. Transporting Overlord being researched. Very cool. We're getting stim, getting some medics, getting a science facility somewhere. There it is. And it did look like Gabagoon took the time and a bunch of SCVs to repair up all of his Wraiths. So they're out on the map again. We've got 5 of them flying around, awaiting launch orders. Which, by the way, I didn't realize what in the hell the Wraith was saying when you'd click on it, or when it was made, for pretty much until like a couple months ago, where I was like, I'm gonna have to figure this out. I googled it, and it says Wraith awaiting launch orders. Awaiting launch orders. I used to think he was saying like Wraith in the long drawers. I was like, what is that? What does that even mean? All right, we have some Mutalisks here along with the Hydralisks. Gonna keep these Wraiths at bay. We have a creep colony here. It does go into being a sunken. Okay, so now we have Mutalisks out on the field. Gonna be able to pick off this Vulture chasing these Wraiths back home. Now it looks like with good micro, Gabagoon's gonna be able to do some pretty good damage here with these Wraiths. Dropship taking the long way around. Oh my gosh, we'll have to see how devastating that is. Now there's plenty of Hydralisks at home. If he tries to dive too deep into the natural base, could see the dropship getting sniped. Wraith production just non-stop. How many are we at? At 7 Wraiths right now? So this is the part that we're all waiting for, the dropship play. Curious to see how Gabagoon uses it. Oh, but is it going to get seen? Oh, Anto's all over it! Trying to drop these Marines as fast as he can. The Mutalisk able to just take this bio out one at a time, saving the juiciest dropship for last, and that entire drop just gets knocked out. Great defense there by Anto. Oh, but here come the Wraiths! Meanwhile, the Wraiths up here just killing all of the drones. Looks like he was about to snipe that Overlord as well, but decided to try to start retreating. Still no cloak, I don't think, for these either. Oh, down to 4. Down to 1, and the Mutalisks are going to clean up the Wraith attack. So the Wraiths are killed. These medics are saying, hey, what's up, what's up? Still on one base for Gabagoon. Now we do have tanks out on the field, getting a few turrets, since air superiority has been lost. And it does look like we're doing a little bit of a transition into bio. Getting more barracks up, getting the upgrades required. And these stim Marines without medic support going down pretty quickly to these Mutalisks. And Anto looks like he's been able to basically turn this game on its head. At first, Gabagoon was looking extremely strong, but now I would say Anto is definitely in the lead. Now, Gabagoon building a CC to try to expand out, but he doesn't have the force to be able to really break out of his base at the moment. Look at these medics coming back all the way from the 9 o'clock. Nice little push here. The medics can't quite get into the base because of this sweet wall. So they'll just check out the front, make sure there's nothing else coming. But there is more mutas going to be added to the pack here, sitting at 9 Mutalisks flying around, sharking the front of this base. Bunker gets knocked out so that Gabagoon can finally push a little bit. Now waiting on energy for an irradiate. And I'm going to assume it's researched. I don't remember seeing it up in the tab. Yo, Juan Jose, hoda hoda! Welcome. Watching some CPL action. Alright, now Zerg has expanded down to the bottom left. Does have lurkers, more morphing, more hydralisks, just more of everything. Queen's Nest being thrown down, about to get into Hive Tech. We're sitting at 11 Mutalisks. Sitting over here, likely to fly in when these lurkers start poking. Now all the scans, you can hear all the scans in the background are being expended. Now we have the Science Vessel, but with 11 Mutalisks, that's going to be able to get knocked out really quickly. And these lurkers are going to be able to jump in, and we're going to have to wait for more scans to become available. Oh, really unfortunate for that SCV. Didn't stand a chance. 3 more lurkers coming across the field. Overlords going somewhere. Now remember, these are dropper lords. So, if you can get all the attention here to the front, pick up some of these lurkers and just hop them into the base on top of this production, might be a really cool play. Right now, this empty bunker about to get knocked out before anything can get inside it. Tank gets sniped. This is looking really bad for our friend Gabagoon. I'm trying to think of the way out here. And really the biggest thing that he can do is be as economic as possible with these irradiates. Oh, but here comes Scourge into the mix. And just barely getting knocked out. I think one of them did connect, though. Okay, another irradiate. And here comes the Zerg flood. The lurkers closing the distance to this ramp. You can hear the screams of the Marines. And there's the GG. Anto taking game number 1 with style. Oh man, Gabagoon though, with that 2-port Wraith, that is scary to face. Especially when it looked like, and again, I don't know anything about anything, but it kind of looked like it wasn't entirely expected. You know, I think the indications were there that it was going to be mech, obviously, with like the vultures poking around, but I don't think Anto was entirely prepared for the Wraith play. So let's go ahead and go into game numero dos. This one's going to be a knockout. Alrighty. Up here in the top left, up knockout. Representing the big naturals. Got Gabagoon, our red Terran. Down here in the bottom left, our blue Zerg. Anto, representing the zero effort Zealot Rush. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm excited for these games. And if they continue along the theme of game 1, oh man, we're set for some bangers. Set for some bangers. Also, shameless plug, trying to raise money on this Twitch channel. All the money goes straight towards Starcraft Underground tournaments. We're currently in the $20 range. Once we hit 50, we will have an open prize pool for an open tournament over in Starcraft Underground. And if you're not aware of what Starcraft Underground is, you should join it. It's for all levels. It's a lot of fun. A lot of the same names that you see in here doing well over there. It's a good time. That's right, Esk. I have no standards. Starcraft Underground. It's a tournament series that I run. I think if you do ! Discord, the Discord should pop up. It's got an internal ladder system, brackets. The two biggest things, the problem that it solves is that there's always a bracket to sign up for, and whenever you have a match, you have a week to accomplish it. A lot of tournament series and everything out there, you have to wait for a specific time to play. And that doesn't always work, right? I'm a father. I was trying to join these tournaments specifically for like StarCraft 2, and I couldn't sit down for 3 hours in the middle of a Saturday afternoon. So I needed something a little bit more flexible. So check it out. If it's for you, play. If it's not, leave. But meanwhile, here in this game, we've got Zerg expanding. We've got gas going down. We've got a spawning pool. We're having a wall trying to get formed here at the front for Gabagoon. And both players are aware of where their opponent is at this point. Starcraft. It's yummy, yummy. Alright, does look like Gabagoon's going to potentially be expanding here. Looking a little bit more of a standard bio opening. Gasless expands. Likely... We'll see if he goes into a second barracks and then academy. Or if he tries to tech up a little bit earlier. Do academy, engineering bay first. Start getting +1 and stim on the way. Alright, so there's the second barracks. Meanwhile, for Zerg, we have Lings that are about to start chasing down this SCV, and we are going into lair. So, need to deny this SCV any more scouting information for when this lair finishes. We also saw Anto wanting to go into Hydralisk earlier last game, so we might see some more of that. We have an initial creep colony going down. And I think that was based off of this Overlord spotting these Marines moving out. Four Lings, about to be 6. Speed on the way. This Overlord just going for a joyride. And this SCV is still around. So he's going to see the layer pop up. And we'll see if this encourages Anto to put his tech down here at the natural and run up the ramp and kill this SCV. It looks like he's content with just sending a single Ling after this SCV, throwing the Spire down behind the mineral line, so going into Mutaplay. These Lings aren't going to be able to get much done. There's a bunch of Marines here. We have the Academy being built. Almost finishing. Could see a couple medics, maybe some scanners get thrown down. Yep, 2 medics in the queue. Stim on the way. It looks like we're about to enter a very standard kind of TVZ match. One medic. Fire bat. Ooh, those Lings almost being able to jump on and snipe that medic would have been cool. This is going to inspire the move out. 8 Marines, 2 medics. Chasing down Lings. Tail as old as time. Firebat staying home to defend against any backstabs. Uh-oh. Marine's a little out of position. One goes down for free there. And now we're just buying time for these Mutalists to pop out. We have 4 queued up. We've got range being researched. eBay going down. Start getting that +1. And we have a 3rd barracks also on the way for our Terran player. Now, not a ton back at home. But that's okay. These Lings shouldn't really be able to get past this Firebat and this choke. Just getting 1 Marine. Now there's 2 Sunkens here. Leading with the medics is really cool. They take the initial hits. Stim going off. Going to be able to clean up at least one of these Sunkens. Might get the second, but the Lings and the Mutalists also showing up to play. Going to make quick work of this Bioforce. So the army has essentially been reset, and 1 Sunken was the payoff. Alright, not a whole lot of bio back at home. The eBay just now finished up. Yep, +1 starting and getting some turrets scattered around. We've got 2 here in the natural. 1 up here in the main. And here come the Mutas. Let's see how this defense goes. A 3rd going down here at the natural if it can get completed. A few Marines showing up. Good, timely repair. It's so frustrating to try to repair turrets against Mutalist harass. It's like SCVs just forget that they're supposed to do what they're told. It's like, hey, repair this, and they're just like, what? Minerals? Smoke break? And then like the turret dies, and then they all show up. They're like, all right, we're here. What'd you want us to do? Not sure what these 2 homies are doing. Oh, they were looking for this. They were ready for this. Perfect. That's going to delay the expansion to the bottom right for the time being. 3rd hatchery in the main. And it looks like Anto's going to try to expand again, this time escorting it. with a whole bunch of mutas. Comes down here, he's like, okay, you're safe, little drone. Go ahead and start. Then Twiddledee and Tweedledum are going to come over here and they're going to be like, ha, psych. Alright, so the Lings are going to clean up these two little annoying Terran units. And we'll get this third down here at the 6 o'clock for Zerg. Now, more turrets in the base. Bio, been reconstituted. Oh, looks like we're having a little bit of a poke here. Not going to get much done with these 4 at the moment. Okay, so we're at 4 barracks, 2 starport, 1 factory. Ooh, Anto finding a little bit of a point of weakness. Only 2 turrets up here. Bio out of position. Gonna come up here and going to be able to potentially scout this starport. But a lot of turrets, and the Mutalisks are a little banged up. If we look down here, we have more Hydralisks under production. We've got a Queen's Nest on the way. Time to bring the royalty into the fight. Or at least just use it to get up into hive tech. Now, we had a scan. Looks like... Oh, I'm looking at the wrong person. Alright, looks like he scanned the natural. He's going to see these lurker eggs. Now, none of us see anything. There we go. It's like Gabagoon getting ready for a second push here. Alright, starting to move out. Looks like he's got about 2 control groups. Not quite close enough to get a free overlord, but gonna push it back a little bit. It's gonna inspire a response. We have some lurkers looking to get out on the map, intercept this bioforce. Are we gonna see some hold position lurkers? A big old ambush, Rooney? Oh, baby, we might. We might. Might not. Looks like they're just going to go up here, sneak up onto the high ground. Look at the route that he's taking to get up here. He's preparing for a backstab. He's waiting for this bio to move out. Now he's going to be able to take this high ground. The surprise factor is gone. But this is a tough spot to crack for Gabagoon. All right, 4 lurkers up here on the high ground. 6 o'clock, starting to at least mine some gas. Mutas, more lurkers, hydras, all the goodies. Getting carapace. Now up here on the Terran side, continuing to build up the bioforce. Starting to include some tanks, science vessels, irradiate being researched. And Anto's doing a good job of just trying to bleed units out where he can. Now this is tough to move out with. Here we go. Got the science vessels. Now they don't have the energy yet, but they are going to have the vision of the lurkers. Now this is going to force some of these Mutalisks to come down into the bio. The lurkers are forced to uproot and take off. And this might be the opportunity. We'll see if Gabagoon decides to try to expand, or if he's going to try to move across the map, maybe deny the third, or just hit straight into the natural with this force. But I feel like he's going to do something. Drop ships. There we go. Alright, looks like he wants to fill it up with Marines. He is moving out across the map, leading with the science vessels. Now, do we have any Scourge in place yet? We don't. But we are up at Hive Tech. We are getting cracklings. Overlord gonna get popped right there on the way. Now, looks like a little bit of a backstab being set up here. But is there enough at home to defend? Oh, there's a ton here. There's a ton of stuff at home. And there's only 1 tank, 2 tanks. So we'll have to see how this goes. Nice lurker positioning there. Going to slow down this force from just running onto the bridge. As he sees the science vessels approach, gets up here on the high ground. Looks like he's not entirely sure what to do with this portion of his army. Looks like he might be trying to flank once the siege is initiated. And here we go, big engagement. The lurkers are all burrowing. Here we go, big shots on these tanks. Takes one out in a volley. The other one's almost dead. Might get sniped here, it does. Big irradiate on the Mutalist though. But Anto, quick to separate it. Brings it right back to the group. Uh-oh. They rated Mutaller doing way more damage than we want to see. And oh no, that was pretty devastating for the Terran. But we are out of Mutalisks now. Warrior SCV. Just hold still, they won't see me. Ah, crap! It's like Jurassic Park. Alright. A little bit more bio. This is not enough to do really much of anything against the force that Anto has outside of his natural. Now the Irradiates are good. Nothing here shoots up. We see a Defiler now out on the field. That was just rude. Complete surround by lurkers. Just... Okay. Let's take a look. I want to take a look-see. We got double engineering bay, 3rd CC, more science vessels being pumped out. We are at, what, 5? 5 barracks? Look at all these bunkers. Holy dang, that's anti-lurker right there. And then for our Zerg player, we do have a Nidus, which means that we have a connection here to the 3rd. Macro hatch, a couple stacked lurkers. A 4th base coming up here for our Zerg hero. But here come the drops. Now, I love the drop idea. Getting the attention away from Gabagoon's base, allowing him to potentially set up this expansion of his own. And this is just going to snipe this. I don't think... I mean, there's no Nidus here, right? There's nothing in the air. This base is just dead. Kind of surprised he's even trying to run back. He might be just trying to get the bio. I like what Gabagoon's doing with his dropships. He's kind of splitting them. He's going to get a scout here. He's going to connect it back with his army, potentially pick up more. And he's got a few Marines in this dropship. Whoops. He's going to be able to use and maybe get a kill or two. Like, look at this guy. You just hold position these two, and they'll be super annoying for way longer than they have any right to be. Now, this base has been knocked down. The lurkers come up and eliminate the bioforce down in the bottom right. See, this is what I was talking about. Look at this guy. Just chilling. Now, this is a sunken, so he doesn't have long to live. But he's denying any mining from the right side of that base. What a Gosu gamer. What a huge natural. Holy plague, Batman. Every single science vessel plagued to oblivion. Now's the time to get a Mutalisk or a couple Hydralisks up here and just pop all these like crazy. I kind of want to keep an eye on them just in case we see that happen. I don't want to miss it. See, here comes the couple Hydralisks. Still getting a lot of damage done with these Irradiates. And the bulk of the Bioforce is over here. Trying to secure this bottom right. Oh, and here they come. The Hydralisks just pop, 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 pop. Oh, that's so painful. So painful for Terran. Alright, now the 3rd base, add a little bit of risk here. We do have a Defiler. Okay, with a Defiler and 3 burrowed lurkers, honestly, this is just going to survive forever. He just needs to be able to feed it with lings to keep Dark Swarm active. Couple science vessels bebopping around. Oh, big Irradiate there on the Defiler. And yeah, I don't think this base is under too much threat at the moment. The Bioforce is actually running back after having seen this entire monstrosity moving north. Nice little backstab here from the Lings. A few lurkers caught out of position. That doesn't feel good for our Zerg player. But these Lings getting on top of these tanks, kind of just making everything messy, and that's going to give the opportunity for Anto to envelop this base with lurkers, Lings, Hydralisks. Oh, but he doesn't want to stop there. Moving up forward. Now, do these bunkers... Only one of these bunkers has something in it. And with Dark Swarm in the mix, this is incredibly annoying. Now, Gabagoon, I think, feels comfortable he can knock this out. He has a couple of contingents of his force still out on the map. Ooh, another science vessel dying. And I'm not sure if Zerg is aware of this base. What do we have under here? We've got 3 lurkers, 4 hydralisks. Okay, no additional defiler though, so now things are going to start being able to get knocked out. He needs to get rid of this turret. Good scan, but once this turret's down, these lurkers are pretty safe. But it looks like we're just overwhelming the Terran player right now. Firebat in a bunker does work. Okay. Anto's going to pull back a little bit. He's going to come back up here to the triangle third. He's going to deny this for the time being. And overall, Anto is sitting in a really good position. He's got 4 bases up. He's at that point that all Zergs look to get at. And that's Ultra Tech and the economy, to where you don't need to make drones or any buildings or anything ever again. You just make units and a move. Couple Dark Swarms here, gonna just shred this bio. We're seeing a little bit more Firebats in the mix, which is gonna help with the Dark Swarm. But really it comes down to these science vessels. I think earlier when we saw like 5 science vessels get popped by all those hydralisks, those would have played a huge part in this battle. Now it does look like Zerg did identify this 12 o'clock position. Wings are gonna force that to lift. These Marines actually doing a pretty good job just chilling here. The Cracklings, man, so efficient for their cost. Oh no, these tanks are gonna be caught out by themselves. These Lings are gonna just shred through them really quick unless these Marines can take care of them. Alright, playing a little bit of Ring Around the Rosie. The tanks are okay. Comsat burns down. Whew. Mined out at the natural. Still has some minerals up here in the main. The Gabagoon gonna need to get some damage or get some money here real soon. Zerg's still at that point where they can just, every larva, turn it into something. And the trades will be efficient. Continuing to use Dark Swarm, cover the advance of all these lurkers. Ooh, big lurker burrow. Couple more plagued science vessels. Easy pickings for these hydralisks. Right now, it looks like our Zerg player might be coming out ahead. Might be getting that 2-0 here with this push. Tank goes down, lurker in front of the bridge. It's a bad day for everyone. Now this tank on the high ground needs to pull its weight. But we need science vessels. We need science vessels to get rid of these defilers. Okay, big engagement. All that's left underneath this Dark Swarm is a defiler and that's pretty much it. Okay, getting some energy up here on these science vessels. Going to need to keep irradiating these lurkers, but the streams of blue just keep coming up, and you can see Zerg went ahead, keep expanding, doing just that. Now we do have a nice little drop here, but we have 5 lurkers ready to pounce. Not to mention a Nidus network has been established here. And this is looking a little messy right now. Looking a little rough for our Terran player. Now, the mineral line here does look like it was shredded by this drop. Ling's not quite enough to clean it up. But Gabagoon sees the writing on the wall, throws in the towel. And that's going to be a 2-0 victory for our boy, Anto. GG's. Great games by both players. Alright, so that's going to open up the day with a 2-0 victory for the Zero Effort Zealot Rush, the best team in the league unless you look at score. And if we go into the next game, we are going to be seeing a PvT. It's going to be JJSair versus Chimera. Game 1's going to be on Polestar. Let's get it. Darn it. All right. So, player A is going to be JJSair. Protoss. Here wins. Versus Chimera. Alright, cool. Cool. Polestar. Excellent. Alright, let's get into the game. Up here on this 4-player map, Polestar. The best of stars. Up here in the top right, representing the Zero Effort Zealot Rush, we have JJSair playing Protoss, everyone's least liked race. Down here in the bottom left, we have our Red Terran, everyone's favorite race, being represented by Depot Jailer, who I am assuming is Chimera. Please let me know if that's incorrect. We have had missubmitted replays before, but it's still a TVP, so we'll just roll with it. Yeah, exactly, staged. Okay, it is K1. Excellent. K1 Mira. One Mira. Yep, supply depot. In the nice little Sim City spot, slap a barracks right there. Tell you what, it's beautiful. Purdy. Meanwhile, over here on Protoss, we have a gateway. He's Michelle Kwan. Alright, we have a nice little cheeky probe scout going down here to the bottom right. Not going to see jack all. Going to head on over here to the bottom left. We'll eventually identify where our Terran hero has spawned. Looks like probe and SCV might be high-fiving here. High five. And it does look like we're going into 2-gate. Beautiful. Everyone loves playing against 2-gate. We got the Protoss coming up here. Checking things out. Sees that the Marine is starting to be made. Also seeing the gas is still going. And not yet seeing a factory. Factory gonna get started right meow. And it does look like he's at least showing that he's taking dudes off of gas. It's not uncommon if you're being scouted to pretend like you're gonna take off gas and then put them right back on if you want to continue forward with like a 2-gate plan. But it looks like he might legitimately be trying to expand. Alright, so probe is chilling here. It's going to meet up with the Zealot. Definitely annoying to attack with both the Zealot and the probe. Alright, Zealot's moving forward. Now, if Chimera is not ready for this, the Zealot can definitely get a jump on these Marines. Okay, they're going to try to use this Sim City up here. 3 Marines out now. With proper micro, should be good to go. 1 Marine goes down, a second goes down. Ah, that's where you're like, dang it. Why don't you just go where I click you, you stupid Marine? Alright, Zealot gets stuck there. Luckily, JJSair all over it. And that Zealot dies. Now the probe, taking Marine shots to the face. Phrasing? And now the Zealots are up here. Another Marine dies. Now we got 2 Zealots. We got, more importantly, a Zealot on each side of this barracks. That makes using the SimCity extremely difficult, but we do have a Vulture. So, on paper, in theory, Chimera should be safe now, forever. But we all know how smart Vultures are. They're fast, but boy are they stupid. You know, as far as like, you see what I mean? See? Like that shouldn't happen, but Vultures are dumb. Alright. Marine barely surviving. Might be able to take out this Zealot before it can take out another SCV. We've got the Vulture. Pedal to the metal, Vulture guy. Does take out the Zealot. We are safe for the time being, but it did force a bunker up here at the top of the ramp of the main. Which whenever I do it, people always laugh at me. They're like, you did it wrong, Manshark. I'm like, ah, man, right. Alright, Vulture heading across the map. This is important to note because it might be able to get up here onto the high ground, but with 2 Dragoons sitting back seems incredibly unlikely. Now, JJSair is expanding. Gets that Nexus down. And now these Dragoons are going to probably just park here wait for range to get completed. They can't see the bunker up here. It's pretty tough for them to actually attack into there. But they'll be able to deny this expansion from going down. Now it looks like the CC is going to be built up on the high ground so that when Chimera can break, eventually lift off and park there. Now we are still going into mine research as opposed to transitioning to a tank plan to get these Dragoons out of the way. And I think that's fine. Second factory being constructed. We've got at least 2 on gas, but it doesn't look like he's put a third. Yeah, Chimera's sitting with 2 on gas at the moment. eBay going up. And we'll see if that's super necessary. It's always safe and needed, just in case like a DT runs in or a Reaver drop or something. I missed it. Why'd these goons run away? Oh, I think they ran away after the tank engagement, right? Okay, so the Dragoons spreading out across the map. One mine left on this guy. We'll see where he ends up putting it. It looks like he'll probably just run into some goons and die. Boom. Dead. Okay, Cybernetics Core. Okay, so does look like we're getting Robo Facility. We're getting Templar Tech. Might see some DT drops. Cool. Because we got DTs forming. Warping into these gateways. Now, we were talking about that eBay earlier. It's definitely a necessity. And we do have a turret going here at the front. Turret there. Turret there. No turrets here. How do I turn off the minimap? Is there a turret back here? No. So we have zoning turrets, but no turrets that really cover the mineral line. So we'll see if that comes into play. Maybe, maybe not. A couple DTs. It does look like they're running over here to the Robo facility, and that's because that's where the shuttle's gonna be. Oh, baby. See how successful this can be. DTs are just such a cool unit. Okay, the DTs aren't going to be able to get jack all done here at the natural. And I'm not sure if this shuttle can actually thread, like, into this base without, like, the all-knowing eye that we have. Getting a third barracks. We have 2 machine shops. Getting an armory, getting an academy. The academy is going to be helpful. Got some mines being placed at the main bases. All's looking good in the world. It's going to come down to what can these DTs get done. Here he comes. Here he comes. And he drops them. They're out. Oh, the terror is dead. Here we go. Into the mineral line. He's got 1 SCV, 2 SCV. Almost a supply depot. All right, now the turret over here is going to get this guy schwacked. Yep, whoops. Up. Yep, dead. There we go. Always got to kill the SCVs that are building turrets. So, getting another SCV, getting another one. All this mining that has been redirected down here to the bottom right. DT tries to run into the front door over here. Unsuccessful. There's the scan, and here's the firing line of tanks to put that drop to rest. Super annoying, though. So good job on Chimera for that defense. I think that could have been a lot worse. He's going to redistribute his SCVs and be good to go. Get some more turrets back up and running. Try to prevent a drop like that from happening again. Now, meanwhile, we have observers on the field. Mines, no longer scary. There haven't been a lot of mines placed anyway. A lot of the mines that Chimera has been placing have been primarily at potential expansion locations. And, you know, potential drop routes. We have a third base going down for our Protoss player. A forge is being slapped there as part of the wall. And we're sitting at 4 gates. 5 gates. And a Stargate. Ooh, baby. Carriers or arbiters, ladies and gentlemen? What's it going to be? Fill out your bingo card. Bing Anderson. Third base going down for our Terran player. Now, Protoss doesn't have any visibility of this. A lot of times, by the time this is getting thrown down, we have observers parked everywhere. So there's the observer now. Gonna run away from this missile turret, hopefully, maybe. But should be able to see. No, not quite seeing up here that there's any activity. So I don't think JJSair is aware that this is a thing. Oh, just barely killed that mine. Okay, but the Dragoons are starting to pool up here. All right, here we go. So now the observer's in here. Does identify there's a third base for the Terran. I expect that this will trigger some aggression from our Protoss player. We've got Storm out on the field, or almost done researching. We've got a DT in the mix, sitting at 0 upgrades across the board, and it does look like we're getting tech for an Arbiter Tribunal. Looking good. Meanwhile, for upgrades for our Terran player, +1 almost complete. And it does look like we're getting up into 5 factories. Alright, so this third base is starting to get established. Khmer doing a good job of trying to wall it off. Ugh, and now both people are chilling. Ooh, here we go. Storm drop. That's exciting. Let's see what happens. Now there's still 2 turrets here, but he just needs to get the payload off. Oh my gosh. Are you gonna cast it? There's a storm right on top of his face. Ooh, and he storms the SCVs going up the ramp. So I don't think he killed a ton, but man, are they weak. I think unless an SCV literally sits under the storm for the whole time, they don't die. Gotta hit him with 2. Did a ton of damage. Okay, a couple vultures. Oh, no, no, no. Okay, good. Dragoons are like mine magnets. I'm here for it. Ooh, another drop. This time, look at the composition of this drop. We've got 2 High Templar, a Zealot for mine clearing, obviously, and a Dark Templar. Meanwhile, we've got a buttload of tanks. More turrets going down here at the 3rd. And it does look like Protoss is getting ready to take a 4th. All right, here we go. Here comes the push. We can open up with a storm? Never mind. JJSair was like, that's a lot of tanks. Maybe not. Oh man, I know I'm going to click away and then this whole thing's going to go running in there. Mines everywhere, preparing for the recall from Arbiters. Or just more drops. We've been seeing plenty of drops happen. Getting up to 6 factories. Oh, we have an attack! And here we go, the Arbiter showed up. That was the trigger for the attack. A lot of these tanks just being shredded. Oh my gosh. Where's the Storm gonna go? Storm plops right down on top of those 2 tanks. The frontal assault here doing massive amounts of damage. These Zealots gonna be able to run straight up here into the 4th base. And now all of these SCVs are gonna have to come through this ramp. And this is where the Protoss army is. So many SCVs being knocked out right now. The CC being forced to lift off and move. Chimera trying to siege up in front of his bunker. Trying to hold this little choke. Now, I don't think we've used any energy on this Arbiter as of yet either, so a recall potential still exists. Goon juice everywhere. 3rd base, wiped clean. Some of these SCVs trying to come back too. They all ran as a result of the CC being lifted. So, you know, smart SCVs. They got to get back to work. They got to go back to their mineral patch. Okay, Chimera gonna fight for this piece of terrain. Gotta reestablish that third. Now the CC survived, right? So he just needs to retake it, get Protoss the heck out of there, resecure it, and get set up. But that was still a pretty big setback. Meanwhile, Protoss is at the stage in the game where they're exceptionally annoying. So recall wasn't researched back in that previous engagement, but it is now. I'm not sure if stasis has been researched. We might see it now if it is. I see a good stasis right there. Ooh, nice stasis. Taking 3 tanks out of the fight. Now a couple Goliaths coming in here, gonna knock out that one Arbiter. Ooh, and a Storm on the other one. JJSair being surgical with his spell casting. Science Vessel goes down. Dragoon's starting to push the front here. Still have a long time till these tanks thaw out. Yo, Sea Turtle, what's up? Welcome to the channel. Okay, now Protoss just needs to camp on these tanks until they thaw out. Yeah, I'm hungry for some Sea Turtle. Okay. Now it looks like Terran might be able to try to push this back. The tanks did just thaw out, but there's a whole bunch of Zealots already on top of them. This might be a little close. I don't know. The Zealots are definitely pulling their weight, but I think that Terran has enough to push back this attack. Now Chimera is starting to mine up the front here, try to slow down any additional advances. Big connection there. Ooh, another one taking out a High Templar. And I think Terran's gonna be okay for the time being. Gonna be able to clean out all of this nonsense, but still hasn't taken back their third. Like, this is all Terran's thinking about right now, is like, I need money. I need to get back up into that third base. Meanwhile, Protoss, establishing bases all over the place, like they do, and just pumping out units. We've got carriers, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 2 Stargates going into carriers. We've got interceptor upgrades, air weapons being upgraded, another Stargate being built. Now's the time to get some damage done as Terran, which is tough because the army has just been kept so low from the persistent Protoss attack. Protoss has been doing really well about expanding and teching while being efficient with their trades. And right now, Terran is at 2-1. This would be a nice time to go hunt down some Protoss bases, but the army size just isn't there at the moment. Okay, so this time, K1 Chimera, really trying to mine up the map a little bit more. I think realized that last time that was a little bit lacking when the frontal assault came in. A lot of the mines were being expended, taking care of the main, trying to make drops less likely or at least less damaging. And currently at 7 factories for our Terran player. Okay, big move out. Being identified around mid-map is helpful. Vulture's gonna be able to try to slow this down. We're gonna be able to hopefully get into a decent siege position. Oh man, we just don't have tanks. Where are they? We got 4 up here, 3 down at the natural. Vultures alone can't fight this. But the mines have done, they've at least bought a lot of time. Okay, now getting within tank range, we have Goon Juice on the floor. Okay, starting to build up for a big push. Now we've got 4 High Templars in this dropship. If we can snipe that dropship, Terran would be feeling so good. More ice cubes. Nice D-Matrix. Okay, unfortunately, these High Templar, they're not actually getting a whole lot done. Okay, we do finally see some storms, but they were getting knocked out as they were coming out of the dropship. Bunker gonna be able to knock this one out, but we do get some storms on those SCVs. Remember when they were so weakened from the storms before? Holy crap! That allowed that storm to just melt them. Bunch of 2 HP SCVs don't stand a chance. Okay, tanks repositioning up here from the 3rd. Gonna give Chimera the extra oomph that he needs to get this Protoss army out of his face. But again, Protoss not necessarily killing, but doing a really good job of keeping the army low. Right? Coming in, killing a few tanks here and there. Coming in, clearing all the mines here and there. Meanwhile, let's go take another couple bases. Very tough to come back from, especially when there's 6 carriers on the map. Oh, man. So gross. I love Arbiter carrier mixes. You know, there's just something about invisible carriers that just feels fair. Can you recall carriers? I think you can. You can recall anything. Oh my gosh, this vulture is driving underneath this. It's just like, ah, shit. That's at least what I think whenever I see carriers hit the map. Yeah, actually, that's usually what I do. It's usually one of two things. Either immediately say GG and exit out of the game, or go to all my factories, clear the entire queue, and just fill all of them with Goliaths and pray. All right, JJSair gonna take game 1. GG. If I can freaking work my computer. Ugh. Alright, there we go. Alright, so that's going to give JJSair the first map win in this series. That's going to bring us into game number 2. I think it's going to be on Knockout. Let's go ahead and see what we got going on. Yeah, it's going to be Knockout, TVP. Here we go. Four-player map Knockout, up in the top left, representing the big naturals, the biggest personality, the biggest everything. Depot Jailer, also known as Chimera in our community of Starcrafters. Down here in the bottom left, we've got JJSair, one of the several JJs that exist in CPL, but I think the strongest. JJSair is our blue Protoss representing the zero-effort Zealot Rush. A team that truly puts forth zero effort. Yo, Sewer Badger. What's up, my man? Obligatory phone check. Gotta keep up on those socials, you know. Just kidding. I don't have any social media. Boobs versus laziness. Which one is stronger? Oh, man. You know, these are the kinds of questions that we're here to discuss. Which one do you think is a more powerful force? The human breast? Or the human's lack of desire to do anything? Jump into CPL. Tag Anderson with your choice. I highly disagree, Escalade, but you guys can discuss further in the chat right now. We've got a game to discuss. It's very serious. Depot Jailer already has a barracks down, and it's going to be scouted by JJSair's Wandering Probe. The worst kind of probes. Alright. It's going to come up here. Thanks, NCX. Thanks, buddy. Alright. This is not the direction I thought this conversation was going to go. Cybernetics Core coming down. Gas being mined. Looking like we're going to be opening into a pretty standard Goon game. No Zealots on the way or anything. Trying to think. Was last game the 2-gate? Yeah, last game was the 2-gate. And the Zealots came in, did a bunch of damage, Yeah. This game we're going to be seeing things unfold a little bit differently. We've got our factory down for Chimera. And looks like we are going to be expanding. So likely what we'll see the expansion, we'll see a bunker, we'll see the goons come up and just take shots to the bunker's face, as goons do. Then we will see where it goes from there. We have 1 Marine, 2, 3. We've got 3 Marines that we'll have available to the Terran player. And here comes the probe scout coming back in. Thanks, Escalade. Thanks. Alright. Goons have hit the field. Still no expansion as of yet. It should be coming down soon. Generally around 24 supply. Oh, we did make an extra Marine. Okay, I think that's why it took a little bit. CC going down at the natural. Should see some guys go back on gas here in a second after Depot goes down. Look at this play. It's sharp. It's tight. Tight like a tiger. Nexus. Now, keeping the Goon at home, we may see JJSair move out once the 3rd one is out. Send 2, keep 1 at back just in case Vulture tries to backstab. Oh my gosh, this SCV just walks right in. Gonna see the 2nd gate being made. Gonna see the spinning cybernetics core. And now K1 Mira, Chimera, Depot Jailer. That's a pretty strong idea of what kind of game this is gonna unfold into for the next few minutes. So bunker's down, we've got 4 Marines in it, and here goes the Vulture. Out and about on the map. Let's take a look at chat and see what you degenerates are talking about. Yeah, Goons Gone Wild. Manshark Lazy Boobs. Yep, Goons Night Out. Good. We're thinking about Season 13 team names. Tiger is tight. How do you know, Manshark? Bro, I think we've all opened up a National Geographic at least once in our life. Tigers are tight, dude. Like, super tight. Like, things that are tight. Tigers. Things that aren't tight. Rotas. Alright, we got a robo facility. Now, JJSair not afraid to drop a DT right in your mineral line. But I don't think that that's going to be the route that we're going this game. What I want to see is I want to see Reavers. Oh! Dragoon clears that mine with its face. Okay. Clears the other one safely. Good micro there from our JJSair. Azizi, you don't like this map? I actually like this map. I was having a discussion earlier today. I was saying how Neo Sylphid is a map that can go jump off a bridge. Not a fan of that map. No, sir. This stream is all about Protoss love. There are lots of aspects of Protoss that I love. I love Reavers. I think they're actually a really cool unit. Yeah. And you know what? I know plenty of Protoss players that are pretty cool. Don't let Escalade taint your opinion of how cool Protoss players can be. We've got people like JJSair, you know. Alright, we've got Gateway Explosion going on. Mini Explosion. 2 gateways. But we are getting a 3rd here for our Protoss. And you know what? I don't think our Terran player is in a position to really take advantage of this timing that may exist. Getting Siege just now. Working on getting some missile turrets. 1 up here in the main. 1 at the ramp. 1 at the natural. So the robo facility is pumping out observers at the time being. Getting our first shuttle now. And there's the support bay! We're gonna get some Reavers. Metal Slug time. Now that's a game I haven't thought about in a while, is Metal Slug. I'm a big fan of like older games. You know, Brood War. And I feel like Metal Slug's like always advertised on GOG, which is a great website for getting retro games. Alright, getting our third factory. Now, the Observer did something pretty cool there. It not only parked itself on top of the production, but it also discovered that you could just fly right in. So, let's see how this shuttle behaves once this Reaver is done. And if JJSair can just get a Reaver straight into the main base. Gosh dang it, Escalade. Alright, Starport. Being thrown down. Is this +1? It's gotta be +1. Yeah, +1. Almost complete here for our Terran. Ooh, I like that. Hungry, hungry caterpillar. They're like the reverse, though. They're like puking caterpillars. Here comes the Metal Slug. Both players being kind of a little bit more passive this game. Last game, the action kicked off right from the beginning. These stupid minerals. Am I right? Oh, this actually looks like it might be intentional. Nope. Mineral-induced GPS haywire. Alright, third base being taken. This missile turret going to do a decent job of kind of providing a little bit more zoning right here, which is where the Observer went. Let's check on our shuttle. It's still there. Looks like we might be waiting for not a second Reaver. No, we're getting a second shuttle. Okay. Observer speed being upgraded, +2 on the way. Skipping armor. So the starport... Where's the science facility? You used to get the science facility and go straight into +2 weapons. Observer barely makes it out there alive, and we're going up to 5 factories. Okay, we've got some excitement now. Scarab hits the leading goon. These guys getting dangerously close. We've got a little bit of a push. Now the Terran's done a good job of securing this high ground and the bridge location. So this looks like it might actually be a pretty tough position to break into for Protoss. Empty shuttle. Shuttle with a Reaver, man. We can only hope for a shuttle doom drop. Really hates that supply depot. Can't get a scanner up with that supply depot there. Classic. That's one of those things that I think every Terran player has done. Built something in front of their scanner location. The second thing that all Terrans do is they pick up their CC when they're trying to build a scanner. And then all your SCVs just go full stupid and just scatter everywhere like a beehive that was kicked. Terran problems. Alright, getting some Zealots here in the mix. We do have some Zealot bombs, which will be pretty effective on this position, actually. There's one turret there, but you can definitely get the bombs off. And then a Reaver for some long-range scarabing, which is what we're all here for. I don't know about this push, though. I don't think this is actually going to go well for our Protoss friend. And you can see, oh, okay, here's the Zealot bombs. Getting on top of some of these tanks. Looks like the high ground getting taken here. The Reaver right in the middle of everything. Might have gotten one scarab off. And these Zealots. The Zealots are truly the hero of this show. Dragging mines, forcing siege tanks to shoot each other. This went way too well for Protoss. Way too well. Holy crap. That was a beautiful engagement executed by JJSair. Did not see that working as well as it did. I didn't even see that mine explode. That was weird. Another shuttle coming in, a little late to the party. It's able to drop one Zealot before it blows up. And that's going to force the lift on this third. Wow, another turret goes down. Vultures coming up here, but they're kind of trickling out into this fight. Not able to defend this third base. Might lose this barracks. Yeah, so Chimera adjusting his defense to focus on this engagement area, as he has effectively lost his third base. Wow, big ouchies there for our Terran. Protoss continuing to macro up. What do we got going on at home? We got Storm being researched, +1 melee weapons almost completed. Getting an Arbiter Tribunal, so we can start being extra annoying with Arbiters. Things are looking pretty good for our Protoss friend. Okay, now some of these goons are pretty jacked up though. Like one siege tank shot might knock out both of these. Okay, healthy number of tanks and vultures should be able to scoot this away. And now Chimera's in that position where he needs to try to fight back for this third base. He did save the CC, right? Yeah, okay, there it is. But he already had such a strong defense, and reconstituting all those tanks is going to take several minutes. Meanwhile, huge gateway forces pumping out 9 gateways from our Protoss player. And Protoss now securing a 4th. What am I seeing in the chat right now? Propeller boobs. You know, one of the reasons I like casting is you get new sentences to the English language every time. That's a sentence I have never read before. Alright, JJSair amassing quite the force here. Now this time, I would say this looks not as good as it did last time, but way more vultures. Way more vultures, way more mines. That should help against the Zealot effectiveness. The Zealot's now with +1 melee. EMP being researched. Arbiter on the way. Okay, so last game, we saw JJSair kind of amassing, but he didn't push until the Arbiter showed up. So we might see him poke. Okay, I guess he's just going to commit. Alright, sending the Zealots up top, sending the Dragoons down low. The Zealots just ate a shit ton of mines. Holy cow. See, the Zealots definitely folding to this these vulture numbers a lot more this time. This was not an effective trade for our Protoss player. Terran held that beautifully. And Protoss is going to have to head back. I think maybe waiting for that Arbiter might have been the play. A couple tanks caught out of position. Looks like one will get sniped. Okay, yeah. Goon's having a tough time. And that really set JJSair's army back. We'll see if Chimera just unsieges and goes for a counter push. But it doesn't... Up! Here we go. Is that supposed to be a shark fin Escalade? Or is that supposed to be your depiction of a propeller boob? Por qué no los dos, right? Okay, so we've got vultures, tanks. This looks like it can be pretty hairy. But we do have an Arbiter in play now. Plenty of scans, and the Arbiter isn't juiced up yet. Forge. Okay, 4th base going on up here. Hammerhead memories. Thank you, Dazzle. Also, good to see you, Dazzle. Alright, I'm getting distracted by chat. Let's get back to the serious casting of this serious match. Protoss. Going up to 6 bases. Win ahead, expand. But I don't know how ahead Protoss is. I feel like it's kind of even right now. Chimera's done a really good job of coming back with that last engagement. Now Science Vessel, huge EMP. Gonna erase all of that energy that was banked up for that Arbiter and weaken the shields of all of these Dragoons. Another scan being utilized in anticipation of this Science Vessel going down. Tank's doing a good job. Vulture's not really doing their role in the fight and eating these Zealots. That's probably the only thing that could have really gone better there for Chimera. And slowly inching forward, kind of splitting the map. Looks like Vulture's taking the moment to go out, get a little bit of awareness of what's going on the map. Probe transfer opportunity missed right there. A little dangerous for JJSair. Shuttle's just chilling. Nothing shoots up. Oh, look at this. Look at this Congo line. Alright, Protoss doesn't have anything for an army. Hey, we're super serious here, Dazzle. Take that back. Ooh. Alright, 4th base up and running for our Terran. Main base mining out. Right. Meow. No, I'm sorry, right. Meow. See, told you. Find out. All 7 of those SCVs gonna have to go work somewhere else. So, really good timing on getting that 4th base up. Otherwise, Terran would have just been El Scrudo. The Terran needs to actually push before Protoss gets another couple rounds complete with all these gateways. Big EMP there again, doing a good job of finding those arbiters and preventing them from getting these stasises out. Stasi? Stacies? Stasises. Okay, now here comes the push. Couple siege here on the low ground. A lot of shuttles with a lot of zealots dropping right in the middle of the fray. Pulling some mines, but not exactly where they need to go. The storms! Ginormous! Oh my gosh! That was bonkers! That was definitely a good trade for Protoss. Holy crap, holies. Gonna clean up the last little bits here, and again, Terran is now in a position of having to build tanks just a few at a time. Looks like we've got, looks like we had 3, okay, yeah, 3 machine shops. How many factories we want? 3, 6, 9, 10 factories. Gotta be careful about these rallies, though. Now, taking a 5th base up here in the main, Terran needs to keep that money rolling. As Mom always said, dollar bills, y'all. Oh, huge mine! God, mines every time. Another good EMP. Chimera's EMP usage has been superb this game. Like, that last engagement didn't quite go in Chimera's favor, but it was only been twice, 3 times, at least 4 times worse with active stasises. Nice little snipe there on the Arbiter that got a little too frisky for its own good. Got a whole bunch of shuttles here. It looks like we might be going on some base denial missions. Maybe some protection missions. Look at this mine. It's just waiting for something crazy to happen. Yeah, the match is getting a little bit messy now. Now these drops look like they're going to head up here to the top right. There's nothing there to defend. And the mobility of the Terran army isn't quite there for them to get back and protect that. So that CC likely going to have to get lifted. We have the drop now. Zealots going ham on these SCVs. The shuttles are just bugging out. Now we're going to see the vultures move. Now we'll see if Protoss is able to dive on these tanks and take them out. Really, that's what we want to be focusing on. Getting these tanks destroyed. But JJSair doing a really good job of just attacking the economy of our Terran player, and you can see it reflected in the bank, right? JJSair being maxed out, sitting with 3K in the bank. Gonna make this really unsustainable for Terran. Alright, some goons getting schwacked by the siege line. Slowly clearing out the mines here, though. Secondary force coming in. This is what I was worried about for Terran, taking all those vultures and sending them up to the top right. Is now some zealots thrown into the mix here once they get on top of these tanks. Gonna spell out a bad day for a Terran here in the middle. The vultures coming down to help out, but it might be a little too late. Ooh, these shuttles, not quite paying attention to them. Yo, this match is a banger. Holy crap, these two players are just beating the crap out of each other. More zealot bombs. Look at these mine drags. Not really doing anything. I thought they might. Zealots on top of the tanks, though, just whittling it away. And the bank for Protoss is only growing larger and larger. Now, it looks like we have more gateways over here. Yeah, we got 6 gateways, plus the 9, so 15 gateways at least. Not to mention the Stargates. The production capability of our Protoss is huge. And you can just look at the banks, right? This top right base, effectively denied. CC is yet to re-land. And we're on 2 mining bases for Terran, 1 gas. I guess that's not depleted, right? This gas is probably fine. No, there's still gas in there, but the CC looks like it had been repositioned, going up here to the 9 o'clock. Yeah, you're right. If mines could kill buildings, that'd be pretty sweet. I'd be in favor of that. But I think to counterbalance that, you'd have to have like Storm do damage to buildings, and I'm not cool with that. Or Plague. Oh my gosh. Do we have a juicy recall target? Oh, we actually don't really have a juicy recall target. Or do we? Let's find out. Oh, there it is, the recall! Meanwhile, most of the army for Terran is spread out between like the middle, the 12 o'clock. Well, there was stuff there. It's being repositioned now. JJSair hitting from every direction at once. Beautiful game. Big probe transfer. Chimera just can't catch a break. It doesn't matter where he goes. He tries to go to the top right, gets Zealot drops. Tries to go over here to the left. Gooned. Tries to keep everything out of his base. Recall. Huge storm. Oh my gosh. Now the supplies are starting to get a little bit scary here. Sitting at 107 to 187. And that supply has been just like slowly trickling down for our Terran player. Good D matrix. Trying to make the most of these tanks. But right now, it looks like this 9 o'clock base might just be getting schwacked. Meanwhile, up here in the top right, CC does finally go down to the Protoss army. And there it is. There's the GG! Chimera knocked out of this round. That was a great match. That was a lot of fun. JJSair showing the power of Protoss. I mean, we saw it all, didn't we? We saw carriers. We saw arbiters. We saw DTs. We saw zealots. Oh. Let's go ahead and watch another PVT. Let's watch it in the form of Least versus FridgRaider. Getting the game 1 here very shortly. All right, Least versus FridgRaider. Game 1. Polestar. Let's get after it. All right. Here we are on Polestar, top right, representing the big naturals. FridgRaider. Facing off against our zero effort Zealot Rush, blue Protoss, Least. Hoping for some cheese. You know, I'm a little hungry. We go for some cheese. Cross spawn positioning. Oh. No, he's probably just gonna build down here. No cheese. Okay, cool. So he's going for this wall that you can incorporate the CC in. I think that's the purpose of what this is. Do a supply depot, get a barracks, then you can get your CC. Pylon been dropped down for our Protoss player. Obligatory phone check. All is good in the world. Running out of coffee, though. These games are going much longer than I expected. I mean, what? We're at an hour and a half. We're only 2 series in. Our 3rd series. Alright, so quick expansion here from our Protoss player. Nexus first. Nexus first cross spawn. CC first. Ooh. Greedy. So greedy. I love it. Throwing down the barracks now. Now we'll have to see if Least identifies this with his probe. And catch on to what's happening here. Going into 2 gate. Now we have an end scout from our Terran player. So it is going to be a last scout for him. And the probe did come up here. Saw this nonsense going down. I feel like 2 gates pretty good against this. I actually don't know. I don't know the build order kind of counter for CC first. I feel like Artosis cast literally had this matchup, like just the other day. Alright, getting a bunker down. Definitely needed, because the army is going to be much farther behind, in theory. Now it looks like we're waiting for the Cybernetics core so we can go straight into goon production. Alright, 2 goons being thrown out for Least. SCV doing its part. Alright, so not cheese. We got double kind of greed going on. So I think we're in it for the long haul, ladies and gentlemen. We're in it for a bit. Dragoon range being researched. 2 Dragoons out on the map. One's going to go ahead and chase around this SCV for a little bit. Meanwhile, 2 Marines. It looks like we're stopping there. We're getting our factories up, going into 2 fac. The gas gets to just be mined non-stop. And you can see the SCV and probe counts looking pretty even. So taking away a little bit of the advantage that Protoss has from going Nexus first. Now I'm wondering on the speed in which we start getting detection. Because that might be kind of the counter here. Because we're at 5 minutes, we still got a little bit of time until like a DT be super punishing, but no academy, no eBay. We're going into 3 factories. Now we've got a tank being made. Haven't seen anything get researched as of yet. Ooh, we're going straight for a 3rd. Holy cow. 3rd base. 5.5 minutes for Least. Just slinging bases out there. Probably a good read, actually. CC first, you know you have time. You know you're safe from a super aggressive early push. Get that 3rd base out there. This is also kind of what I was talking about. There's no detection. I guess the risk here being that there could be mines. Okay, there's the eBay going down now. 3rd base. What do we have? 6 Dragoons. 2 more gateways. Observatory. Repositioning the wall. This is some high level stuff. why it's tier 1. Tier 1, baby. But both players just kind of chilling. Alright, first observer's out. Gonna be flying across the map. And just follow it for a second. Can't show you guys me moving on stream. It's embarrassing watching someone with fins flop around. Alright, here we go. 5 tanks, a bunch of vultures, a couple marines from the bunker, even the barracks itself. Heading straight across. Vulture speed about to finish up, +1. About to, what is that? What even is that? Ask. Okay, I hear shots. Oh, we're killing the gateway because we're warping in dragoons that get stuck. I like to call these semi-mobile cannons. All right, big push here coming in from FridgeRaider. Mining up the front. And this is good. This is still a lot of dragoons, though. Now, oh, siege wasn't done. Okay, we're pushing pre-siege. So we're pushing post-mines. This is so many dragoons, though. Oh my gosh, if Fridge loses all these tanks. Okay. Was it forgotten? Maybe. Nomad. What's up, my man? Thanks for the follow. Okay, he's not quite done. Alright, siege is now getting researched. And now he may be able to try again, but he needs more vultures. He lost all of his tank support in that last little push. And the vultures are trying. They're trying. I don't know why they're choosing this route. I guess the supply depot there, forcing them to go play with the SCVs. Now, I like this move, okay? A couple vultures going up here to this third base. Could, it didn't, but in theory, it could have forced Lease to pull his dragoons up there with too many and weaken his defense here at the natural. But Least stayed pretty disciplined, kept his army here kind of split in between, and he's prepared for this push. Ooh, good siege position. Using this little section, you can hit into the natural. Alright, a lot of mines going down. Not a ton of zealots. Vulture's going to be able to make quick work of them. We'll see how these tanks can fare against these dragoons. Going to try to get some more mines up in their face. Eat a couple shots. And this is okay. This is okay. But it looks like Protoss is definitely going to come out ahead on this trade. All the tanks being wiped out is a pretty big deal. Meanwhile, we're at 5 factories. And the only army that's remaining, there's not even anything in this bunker, is like this one tank. Well, I guess a couple tanks and a couple vultures. But overall, I think Protoss is sitting pretty. And we're getting Goliath range. We're getting +1 armor plating. +1 weapons has been completed for our Terran. Terrans being forced to rebuild their barracks somewhere. Getting the science facility so we can go up to 2-2, and getting a control tower so we can get science vessels. Meanwhile, Lee scouting around, making sure there's no hidden bases. Ooh, that's a lot of zealots. That is a lot of zealots. Ooh, it's a whole fanatic of zealots right there. Okay, stasis is on the way. Arbor production has begun. Right down here in this Stargate that you can't see. That's where the math gets a little wonky. Looks like we're likely going to see Arbiters before EMP. Now, we're going to still have some time until these Arbiters have significant energy. Do we have a science vessel yet? No science vessel. One is just now being built. Would have liked to see this get mined up a little bit. Don't know if there's any mines left on these. There's one there, one there. Okay, now Terran's starting to take their third. Yeah, Chad Lots down here. The fraternity of Chad Lots. The G House. We got a double expand coming from Protoss. Okay, Terran needs to make something happen. This is such an annoying spot to be in for Terran. You lose that one army early on, and then it's just, it feels like coming back. And by the time you come back out into the map, you got to deal with the freaking fraternity of G House, Arbiter Tech, Stasis, 19 trillion bases to worry about. But you know what? At least there's no carriers. Am I right? You know, it can always be worse. There can always be carriers. And if there are carriers, there can always be more carriers. Alright, this is actually going to pull the Protoss army up to the top left. Try to defend this base. I think that might actually open up a window of opportunity here. Vultures are going to float around here to the bottom right. See if there's anything. But when this Zealot force is unleashed, oh my god, he's getting recall. If he recalls this Zealot force into the main, what the heck are these SCVs doing? Oh, they must have all been mining here before this was complete. Ooh, nice mine hit. These vultures just being a nuisance. Whoops, wrong person. Alright, we got some scans. He sees a portion of this, but doesn't get the full effect. Okay, now where are Arbiters? We've got one here. There's got to be more, right? Just the one? Okay, I guess we just have the one Arbiter out on the field. And now this army, after cleaning up the vultures that were up here, Protoss is going to take another base. 6 bases! Terran's getting their third, trying for a fourth. That looks a little crooked. Maybe. Terran hates bunkers and eggs. So test firing the tanks, they work. And this, oh my god, please be a recall. Please. Please be a recall. Oh, frontal push, here we go. Instead, gonna use the stasis. Here's 2 Arbiters. What's the defense look like? Oh my gosh. If a stasis hits right there. Oh, could be so bad. Now the vulture's gonna come in, harass a little bit. It looks like Least is cool with taking the time to go clear that out. Really wants to get this base up and running. You can see 5 additional gateways, single pylon. Using a good amount of probes here. That's super annoying. FridgeRaider doing good work with these three zealots. Not zealots, vultures. Can Fridge see that? Yeah. The turret up there just like, oh crap! That's a lot of zealots! You can see everything just sieging up right now. Oh man, and I feel like time is against FridgeRaider right now. Right, Least is completely maxed out. I guess the best thing Fridge can do is max out at this point. There's no easy to take base at the moment. This would be the next best thing, and this is where the entirety of the Protoss army is sharking around. There's too much Protoss that you can't go, you know, smashing bases with any decent sized force without opening up your main. So I guess Fridge just looking to take an engagement, hopefully trade favorably. Now with these scans, Fridge is at least able to see where the Protoss army is, and sees the size of it. Sees 3 Arbiters, a whole cube of goons. I don't know if that was a worthy stasis. Maybe if you're worried about the EMP. It looks like one already got off. Gosh. Alright, gonna push this third base. A lot of mines going off. Huge stasis is going to lock out that ramp from any reinforcements coming up. And this third base... gone. just hit the delete button on this. Oh my gosh. The siege tank blast hitting the Zealots, but also hitting their own SCVs. Now, a little disjointed on the attack here from Least. Coming in from both these directions, like, yeah, nothing can come up the ramp, but nothing can go down either. And the siege tanks are going to be able to hold this. I think overall this was a better trade for Terran, with the exception that Terran lost a base out of it. But when it comes to army, like, Terran really didn't lose all that much, but did lose a base. So mission complete from Protoss because there's no minerals here. There's basically no minerals here. I'm wondering, I guess now's the time. Fridge has no minerals at all. Best thing he can do is probably lift up some of these CCs. He's getting this third base up and running, but I don't know how long that will last. Here we go. We're control grouping up. Yo, I'm a big fan of backup CCs. That's a very Starcraft 2 thing. There's a point in the game in Starcraft 2 as a Terran player where you just always be building a CC. Alright, here comes the G house. Oh, man. A couple being sieged, the vast majority not being sieged. Probably a good idea with this number of Zealots. You can hear the Zealots just all erupting in flames. That was so many Zealots. And they're all dying. FridgeRaider's push here seemingly unstoppable, but a lot of the Zealots made their way up to the third base, and this is really the key for our Protoss player. If he can deny this, then I don't know how long Terran can sustain this push. Look at these SCV trains going everywhere. Trying to get another CC here. Don't know if it might have been worth it just to float this one. But trying to get those 2 bases up and running. Now, even with this push, Protoss doesn't have a whole lot to defend. I guess the name of the game is try to buy time and then just slowly whittle this army away. It at least has a bank. When it comes to upgrades, we are sitting at 2-2 for Terran. 2-0 for Protoss. It's a lot of tanks, though. It's a lot of tanks. Now, I'm wondering what this army up here does. Whether it continues to try to deny this third, whether it comes down, tries to support and help this. I mean, this natural's gone, but it already did its job. So just keep massing up here. Do backstabs? I don't know. Looks like Fridge trying to take the fight up into the north as well. Trying to defend that base. Because Fridge needs to, like, good job knocking this out and took out the army. I almost wish Fridge would come up here and knock this out. I don't know. It's tough to tell what the right move would be here. But the gateway's up here in the top left for Least. They're going to be able to mop up and start a counter push, deny this third base, or I guess fourth base. And that puts Fridge on a clock. Okay. Nice little hits here, but this is really where the danger is. And this is where the mobility of Protoss really comes in handy versus Terran. Okay, moving a large contingent of this force up north, but this is effectively a no man's land. going up against these tanks with this force is going to be very challenging. The best bet is probably get another Arbiter. I don't know. Like a single Arbiter would just clean all this up eventually. Alright, looks like Fridge deciding. Job well done down here. Looking to reconsolidate his army. Holy crap. This game has been insane. Okay, Fridge trying to be very careful with his tanks. Now, he doesn't have, like, much tank support. So, the Zealots here looking incredibly scary. Arbiters looking scary. Nothing that shoots up either outside of turrets. Making sure that third base is still dead. Alright, big mines hits there. Good vultures. Huge stasis. Holy crap. Holy. It's like 2/3 of the army. Just turned into ice cubes. And Least is at the point where... Ooh, big mine. Where he can just keep throwing waves. It's kind of like that point where we were talking about in another game with like Zerg. Like there's a point where it's like, okay, I don't care how efficient it is. I just got to keep you from ever expanding again. And just throw wave after wave after wave. Now, still no mining going on here for Least. Curious where all of his probes are. He's got a bunch of them. I guess the top left being the primary. 9 o'clock as well. Least is sitting on a bank, mining just fine. His production wasn't hit that hard down here. So now all these gateways, they're not being contained anymore. Which I think was probably still the right decision from Fridge. He wasn't going to be able to hold that forever. And you don't want to lose those tanks. You need them back up with the main army. But the big battle here is for Fridge to get a second mining base. This being the only one right now is rough. Not only that, but it was like undefended there for a long time. This is where all the fighting has been. Oh snap, Suwa Badger with the jokes. Alright, here we go. Another big engagement. This time with a lot more Zealots. And Least has the money to just keep Zealots going for days. Here they come. They finally made it to the tanks. They're crashing down. A couple ice cubes still here for the Terran side. Oh, man. Just cannot get this third base down. And I know the feeling. FridgeRaider throws in the GG. And you know what? That was a GG. Least takes game number 1. Yeah, that was very well played by both players. That was just a solid back and forth match. That's what we love seeing here. Almost as much as we love seeing Reavers. And especially nukes. Alright, let's go into game number 2. Gonna be on knockout. All right. After this series, I might go refill my coffee. I don't know. I'll think about it. But down here in the bottom left, what the hell just happened? Right here in the bottom left, representing 0 effort, Zealot Rush, is Least. Our blue Protoss player up here in the top right. Our red Terran, FridgeRaider. We'll see if we get another solid macro game like last game. Last game we had cross-spawn as well on Polestar, and we had the Protoss player go Nexus first. And you know what Fridge said? He said, 2 can play that game, homie, and did CC first. What I'd like to see this game is Proxy DT versus BBS. We have an early probe, guys. Oh! Center gate! Let's go! Meanwhile, it looks like we're preparing to wall up in the main. Not doing one of those fancy natural into CC walls. There's the gateway. Least, you dirty dog. Is this another one of those pictures where it tells you to build in certain spots? Make a wall? Kind of looks like it. Alright, Lee's still unsure of where the Terran is. Needs to find out soon. We're going to be sending Zealots to the correct location. Right now, I think this is Zealot type. So not going to be able to get up into the main base. Going to have to... I'm not entirely sure how effective the center gate's actually going to be. Here comes the probe. It's going to poke up here and be like, damn it. There's a wall. Gonna try to kill this SCV. See if RNG is on the side. Nope, not quite. Barracks does get down. Okay, so Zealot almost complete. Back home for Protoss. We've got a pylon about to start a simulator. Oh, you know what? He might be trying to kill the SCV scout. He didn't see which way the SCV went, but he knows there'll probably be an end scout. Trying to prevent this from seeing that, but you know what? It's all exposed, buddy. He saw it. He knows everything. So here come the Zealots. We did throw a pylon down here to be annoying. Now I don't know if, like, this doesn't help. It might prevent things from getting out. Because I'm pretty sure this is still Zealot's height. Like, I don't think Zealots can run up there. Does the pylon make it? Oh! What? Oh, this must have like a hex right here. Interesting. Okay, I thought this was tight. The barracks must not be like nut to butt with this thing. Okay. So, SCV, try and knock out this center gate. The 3 Zealots, they're going to run back. We'll see how this game kind of progresses. We'll see how Protoss recovers from the attack not really going as well as he probably hoped. Now, luckily it was only center 1 gate, it wasn't center 2 gate. Zealot's likely going to try to sandwich this SCV. Goodness, Esk. Is he even here in the chat? Things that are tight. Alright. Dragoon range being researched. Gateway. Nexus. SCV's going to come down here. He's going to see the status of all of this. We're getting a CC. So this should be enough to protect against any of the Zealots that may come this way. And we're also seeing that there might be goons, but not in any like huge numbers. Now this is always an awkward position because you know this is here. It's going to cut down the time that these goons can get to your base. I almost feel like what I'd like to see, and it might happen with the second vulture, or maybe once this bunker is down, but this vulture would be having a decent amount of success, I think, just running into the main. Like when you know it's center gate, like before this goon comes out, and you know your vulture's faster, just bypass that gateway. Go try to get some probe kills. Alright, now that the tank has arrived, tank, 4 Marines, 3 of which are pretty jacked up actually, and a vulture, likely to try to come down here and just knock this out. Get it off the map. Alright, might be able to deny this goon. Yeah, it looks like this guy isn't going to be popping out. Ooh, and we're pushing. We're keeping the push. See if what gets thrown down here. Yeah, okay, so shield battery, at least a little bit on the back foot. This is a pretty strong force versus just this. if the tank isn't being dumb. Need to see what damage can be done before the shield battery arrives. Alright, gonna get the Zealot. Shield battery has shown up. We now have probes being pulled to the front line. You can see the effectiveness of that battery too, just recharging that goon straight back up to full health. And that's gonna be enough to... I don't know if Fridge is gonna keep this going. Mine's just now about to be done. I think once we can mine this up, maybe go for a loose contain, but I don't think there's gonna be damage to be found here. Shield battery does its job again. The Marines are all dying. Probe's getting on top of the tank. Now, I will say this is doing a good amount of probe damage. Wow. Okay. Alright, Fridge sitting pretty. Fridge with a 4 SCV lead. Getting a second factory up. Now the goon numbers are going to start climbing. Least showing, or not least, Fridge showing way more discipline than I would. I would have been like, kill that gateway. But he's coming back home. We're at like the 7-ish minute mark. This is kind of... We don't know what's been going on up in the main base. So we don't know if we're going to be expecting shuttles. Odds are probably not. But we do have a Stargate being made. We got Templar Archives being made. Going to be getting up into Arbiters real fast. Guy's ready to throw it down. Once Least has the cash. No, maybe not. We're going for a third. Oh, there it is. There's the Arbiter Tribunal. So, Fridge didn't really scare Least enough to where he went like hyper production mode. He went, got his third base, decided to tech up, start building towards Arbiters, which have been very effective, very tough to deal with the past game. Got a whole boatload of tanks coming out here. We're going up to 6 factories. And we do have an eBay, but no detection. Alright, Academy just finished. Likely to see some scanners getting thrown down. Oh, I thought this was a pylon. I was looking at the mini-map and I was like, did he repower the gateway? Man, I hope he does. I hope he does. I mean, it's a perfectly good gateway. For the low cost of 100 minerals. You too could have a powered gateway. Mineral only base here for Least. Getting up and running. He's going to check and see if Terran has done the same, but no. Terran is amassing an enormous mech force, and it's about to move out. Now this Observer, gonna see it all. Might have a pretty good clash. Ooh, GTs, baby! Did we ever get scanners? No scanners, baby! Oh no! Alright, finally the gateway dies. No more hopes of rejuvenating that, and here comes the DT. Oh, so annoying. And look at the production tab. Oh, shit. Scanner. Oh, man. We got 1 kill on that one, 1 kill on this one. There goes a tank for free. Here comes another tank for free. Oh, man, the lack of scanners really proving to be detrimental here for our Terran player. These DTs came out at perfect timing, meeting the army halfway, chasing it down. Now here come the scanners, but yeah, after that push, GG Fridge throws it in. That's going to be a 2-0 win for our man Least. GG. Look at that. Look at Zero Effort Zealot Rush. My goodness. I'd like to bask in the glory of all that is the best team in CPL. You know, not counting record. Zero Effort Zealot Rush. Now let's go into the last series of the day. And it is a ZVZ. So, bust out your bingo cards. Let's see if we get a Hive ZVZ. So far, we have casted a ZVZ that has gone to Hive. Now, unfortunately, that was only at Tier 4. So this is Tier 1. Typically, these games go a little bit faster than Hive. But we'll see what we can do here. So this is going to be Mutaller versus Skler. Two of my favorite Zergs in CPL. Let's get after it. I gotta change the scorecard thingy. We're on Polestar, probably. Mutaller, the one who mutals. And we've got Skler, the one who sklers. Alright, cool. ZVZ to finish us off today. Now up here in the top right, we've got Skler representing the big naturals. And then down in the bottom right, we've got the blue Zerg, and this is Mutaller representing Zero Effort Zealot Rush. Will we see 2 Ling Floods? Will we see Mutalisks? Will both players just skip Lings and go straight into Hydralisks? I have no idea. Yeah. Ask. You may have figured out my my algorithm for which games to cast. No, it's all alphabetical. When we do half these tiers, they're split in half by alphabetical, by the very first letter, and whatever that replay file is. All right, hatchery going down immediately up here in the top right for Skler. And we're banking up some minerals here for Mutaller. Ended up going with an Overlord first, getting a spawning pool. Okay, so this is one of those things, right, where it's like, okay, early Ling advantage, gonna be in Mutaller's favor, but Skler gonna have that larva to work with once his spawning pool is complete. And we also have gas going down for Mutaller, so the name of the game here is, are we going for speed? Or are we racing to Mutalisks? One of my favorite things about ZVZ is if you do the Mutalisk race, whoever gets a Mutalisk first just wins. It seems that way, at least. ZVZ is crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Yeah, you can pronounce ZEZR with a hard R. It's okay. Alright, 6 Lings coming out here for Mutaller. We'll see how far they can get across the map before more Lings start popping here for Skler. Right now, Mutaller is leading by 1 drone. Obviously, this would be the drone that would have been used to make that second hatchery. Now you can just see it visually, the effect of these two hatcheries. Like the availability of larva is just always going to be there for Skler, and because of that, we're already sitting at 8 Lings. Okay, now second hatchery going down for Mutaller, but it's going to be going down at the natural. A little bit easier to hit, but is going to be able to provide some minerals here in the event that he can get that mining. So right now, no advantage really to either player. You will notice Mutaller is still mining gas, does have a layer on the way, so yeah, it's a clock. When did the Mutalisk come out? And Skler sending his Lings across the map. Not going to be going to the right spot, and I think he might have seen this Overlord. At the very least, Mutaller saw those Lings. So he's going to be heading up north, going straight towards Skler's base. Now, one of the things we need to be watching out for is Skler going to turn his Lings towards Mutaller's base? Doesn't look like it. He's going to be heading home. A few Lings for free here for Mutaller. Man, they are fast. Look at them go. Okay, now fighting over the ramp. Skler trying to lower the surface area, make it so Mutaller's numbers mean nothing. And here we go. Holding the ramp, bringing the rest of the Lings up from the rear. It looks like we might be able to clean up Mutaller's Lings. Mutaller trying to save as many as he can. We have the ZVZ ping pong ball effect where the Ling fight went one way, so we go straight across the map to the other base. Then we'll see how the Ling fight goes here, and then we'll go back to the other base. But 7 Lings. There's a lot more here for Skler. Now, I'm not a rocket surgeon, but the numbers, they're not looking good. Oh, but right on the hatch, he brings down the rest of his Lings. This looks like a pretty close fight. Looks like Mutaller's got it. And we're heading back. Oh, but Skler said, nope, psych, I've got more. Now he goes to the ramp. Oh, shit. Okay, he's going to start putting in work on this hatchery. Mutaller trying to get some work done with his Lings, but I don't know why, but they just seem to be crumbling there. Now we're hatching Lings down here. They're taking a few pot shots before they can fight back. Now Defender's advantage is huge in these Ling fights, but right now with the hatcheries being split, they're kind of trickling out in less than ideal kind of ways. Now the Spire is on the way. This is that clock that Skler was up against. Can he come in here and can he win? Can he put this match to bed before the Mutas show up? And it looks like he might be able to do that. The drones getting into the fight. Good drills here. Hawking a bunch of loogies all at once. Oh, but now they're starting to fall. Bringing more Lings into the fight. Absolute chaos. We're down to 3 drones for Mutaller. 1 drone, 0 drones! And 38 minerals. That's going to do it. There's no coming back from that. Mutaller sees it. GG. This is StarCraft. That's what it is. Alright, Mutaller did not get that. This one was Skler. I'm sorry. Habit. The first map win for the big naturals. Coming in big for the ZVZ. Skler hitting the Ling button until you win. It is a method. Alright. Next match. Gonna take us to knockout. Alrighty, here on Knockout in the top left, we got our red Zerg. This here is Skler, representing the big naturals. And in the bottom left, we have our blue Zerg, Mutaller. Now, Mutaller was racing to get Mutas. Was going as fast as he could. Got his layer up, got his gas up, was all gassed up. Ready to get the shrimp bats out on the field. But just before that Spire finished, massive Ling production from Skler came into play. Now, also, Skler got those Lings and he took a gamble. It was like a 50-50 shot. Which base will Mutaller be at? And the Lings went to the wrong base. So we'll have to see if we go Ling heavy again this time. Or if we get lucky and we see Ultralisks. That's where I'm putting my money. Put it on your bingo card. Make sure to put the bingo card in CPL and tag Anderson. Alright, so we're going to have Overlords high-fiving, so I don't think there's going to be any confusion as to which base each of these Zerg players are chilling at. Now, eventually, these Overlords will see each other. God, they're slow. This reminds me, have you ever seen that movie Kung Pao, Enter the Fist? It's like a satire, like, kung fu movie. There's this part where, like, the female character is, like, running towards the male protagonist, and she's like, I'm coming! And then, like, yeah, and then, like, she ends up farther back, I'm coming! And he's like, come on, I'm coming! And it goes on for just an absurd amount of time. That's kind of what I just felt like these Overlords just went through. Yeah, Manadog, you get it. Anyway, Extractor going down, Spawning Pool going down. Looks more of the same from Mutaller, but it also looks like we have the Extractor being morphed in from Skler as well. And it also looks like Skler was done a lot faster with his Skler behind 2 drones, but optimizing for gas. And this might be pretty big. Now, it looks like he went straight into speed, though. So, got his 100 gas, went straight into speed. This time, Mutaller still expanding, so going to have the hatchery advantage. So, we're seeing almost a little bit of a flip-flop from last game. Little bit of a flip-flop. Now we've got 6 lings. The Overlord saw those pop and head out. So we're going to have 6 lings coming out here for Mutaller as well. Looks like we might actually pull some drones. Help clog up this this ramp. Yeah, realizing that he might just be a little short on time. Or just trying to get as effective of a trade as possible here. Waiting until his hatchery is complete. Interesting addition there to throw the drones. We got more lings coming from Skler, trickling in pairs. Same here from Mutaller, and we might be getting an engagement here in just a second. All right, now speed's about to become done here for Skler. There they are. Now we've got light speed Zerglings. Speed only halfway complete for Mutaller. Now Mutaller is not mining gas anymore. He pulled these drones to come down and help with this fight, and they're not even helping. Dang drones not doing their job. And these lings they're going to be straight up in the main base of Mutaller. Holy crap. Holy. Drones fighting back. Drones fighting. Running away. Drones running. Alright, getting some more lings in here in the fight for Mutaller. Now, a lot of lings have gone down, but it's still 9 to 8. I'm sorry, drones have gone down. But the drone count's still 9 to 8. Speed just finished. Now Skler's got his Spire started. He's got his Spire started. We're even on supplies. Oh, that doesn't feel good. I'm starting to like the whole second hatchery in the main thing more and more. Okay, now Mutaller has banked up a decent amount of lings here to fight this back, especially when they're not all in the engagement for Skler. If Mutaller can continue to pick little groups of lings like that, he can get the ling advantage again, but he's going to have to do something before the Spire pops out. And with this timing, like the Spire's already halfway complete, I feel like the number of options available is getting a little bit lower and lower. Like maybe from a speed to completion route, it might become a spore game. Might need to throw some spores down. Okay, it looks like instead Mutaller, identifying that he has the Zergling advantage, going to run across the map here. Now we're still sitting on one base. 6 drones for Skler. Creep colonies being built. All the help that he can get. Yo, Antidot. Thanks for watching. Ooh. This is looking good for Skler. The ramp combined with just the defender's advantage and this number of lings doesn't look like Mutaller's going to be able to get up in there. Now, Mutaller's seeing that there's no expansion, though. Well, actually, I think there was a... Yeah, he's got an Overlord up here. You can see everything. So he knows that the Spire is going to be a problem. We already have a Mutalisk on the way. And so, yeah. So the answer here from Mutaller was, okay, we're going to need some spores. Throws down the Evo chamber... And we'll see kind of like how aggressively he goes into spores. But he's going to need at least one at each base. He's going to lose this Overlord, potentially. Mutalisk might be better utilized killing drones, killing lings. Ooh, lings getting up in the base. But there's Sunkens and everything. Mutaller not going to trade well up here. I think he did get a drone, though. That was cool. And the spore colony about to come up. Now, this Mutalisk did get caught up in that fight with the lings, so it was not here in time to really hurt the drone count. Oh my gosh, but this ling counterattack. We do have a spore up here in the main. Oh my gosh, this just looks so scary for Mutaller. Nice little engagement there for Mutaller, though. What is this? We got, what? 6 lings. Oh, and he kills the spore colony. Mutalisk holding the ramp. Brilliant positioning there from Skler. Gosh dang, it's crazy what a ZVZ game can produce with such little mining. Right? Like 9 drones to 6 drones, and they're trying to eke out as much value from every 25 mineral Zergling as they can. Insane. Now this hatchery looks doomed. Putting the base count on parity for the players. This Overlord needs to get out of dodge eventually. I'm coming! I'm coming! Eventually. Oh man, the Mutallist just adding just enough DPS where these Lings can trade favorably all day long. Alright, second Spore. Cool. So, life is a little hard for Mutaller right now, but it also just got a whole lot more simple because the entirety of Mutaller's game is right here. So, let's see what he can do. Utilizing his building to be a little bit of a SimCity. Ooh, nice little drone drill there. Still scary for these Lings. Can't get the Mutalists in here to help fight. These two Spores will rip through the Mutalists until they get to a certain number. And so that's the priority target for these Lings. Can we knock out the Spores so these Mutas can get in and start having a good time? The answer is no. Because we've got a Sunken coming up. And we've got these Lings defending that building with their lives. More Lings popping up. And here comes the Sunken, which is going to be hugely helpful. But this Spore does go down! Alright, so that's going to trigger the Mutalist to come in, start assisting with the fight. And this game's still going. This game's still going, guys. Okay, hopefully Mutaller didn't want gas. But we're having a creep colony go down. I imagine this one will become a Spore. We'll replace that first one. Yeah, these Mutalists being the antacid here for Skler. Wow, they suck at killing this. Okay, but Zerglings are like really good at killing this. So they're going to come in, they're going to help. Wow, that Extractor took forever to kill. Alright, Mutaller's still in this game. Mutaller's still ahead on drones, by the way. Even after constructing all these colonies. A couple Zerglings running around looking for a hidden base of some sort. Now, the Mutalist count is what's really scary here. As it grows, there's only so much our blue Zerg is going to be able to do. Now, are we at Hive yet? Come on, let's get to Hive. Let's do it. You know what beats this? Guardians. Guardians beats this every time. Oh no, is he going to get the... Okay, trying to take pot shots on the spawning pool. I really like that game plan. Alright, we're getting to a point where the Muta count is getting a little scary. We're at 6 right now. The Spore colonies do support each other. So you can't just pick one off by itself. Yeah, NCX, that's pretty much the game. Kill things till they die. Solid strategy, Cotton. See how it pays out for him. Flyer Carapace on the way. We got a lair. We got a lair. And the economies are basically the same. The only thing that's different is that Mutaller doesn't have an air force. But Scourge are cheaper than Mutalisks, you know? Maybe you just get a shit ton of Scourge. This game is bonkers. Oh, man. This Muta count's just getting a little too high. It's just getting a little too high. A little too high for comfort. I'm sure there's an Aaron joke in there somewhere. Alright, here we go. 9 Mutas. Is this the magic number to kill Spore colonies? Ooh, a third one shows up. Does kill one of them. Mueller trying to get some work done with his Lings. Taking the moment of confusion there. Killing a bunch of Sklers. I don't know if we need to chase these. I guess if the Mutalists were just going to hang out at the ramp anyway, then sure. The creep colony going down. There's the Spire. Is Mutaller going to be able to turn this around with his superior drone count? Look at the efficiency of this mining too. The Sim City really funneling it all in. Feels good, man. Dude, this is insane. Like, the entire game taking place on this square. We're back up to 9 Mutalists. You know what that means? That means that he can kill one Spore. Alright, looks like Mueller's adjusting his layout a little bit. Sunken on this side, Spore on this side now. Yeah, these lings aren't going to be able to do anything. They're going to be in range of 3 Sunkens and these lings. Looks like he's just running around scouting what's going on here, because this Overlord can't get close anymore. I don't think we're bullying. Well, actually, maybe. The supplies are pretty ridiculous. I just want to see Mutaller make, like, 100 Scourge. Nope, goes for Mutalisks. Alright, they're diving in. How are they doing? Oh, he's just killing the drones. Oh my gosh. Forget the spores. Kill all the drones. We were at 0 drones. We're back up to 1. Oh my gosh. You know, hey, kudos to Mutaller. I would have left like 10 minutes ago. I'd have been like, there's a Muta on the field. Nah, I'm good. And that's why no one will remember my name. You, my friend, are the true fighter. We're up at 3 drones. DVZ is just doesn't make any sense. Like, if there was an RTS and it was just ZVZ, would you play it? I don't think so. It's a lot of Mutalisks. These spores keeping Mutaller in the game. Now, all Skler needs to do is kill all the drones again when we're less than 50 minerals, and that's it. And that's it. Mutaller throws it in. That's going to be a 2-0 victory for our man, Skler. Well done. Well done. Fun games. All right, so that's going to be it. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of a recap, right? So we've got Anto, JJSair, Lease all coming at 2-0 in favor of their opponents, Gabagoon, Chimera, and FridgeRaider. Not a good day to be a Terran, is basically what I'm learning from that. And then Skler taking out Mutaller in a 2-0 in a very exciting ZVZ match. This was dope. Thanks for watching with me. Thanks for following. If you've got a Prime sub, throw it my way. I take all that cash, bottle it up, throw it at Starcraft Underground, which you should join if you're not a part of. And yeah, let's do our CPL anthem, and I'll send you guys on your merry way. Let me know if there's someone that you want me to raid, and we'll raid them at the end of the song, okay? All right, everybody, stand up, show your respect, hand over your heart, pants optional, as always, and let's send our way off with the song.
Winners rise and losers fall, reflexes sharp, minds and flaw. Gamers play, this never ends. CPL, legends play. CPL, we fight tonight. Let us sing the storyline. From the shadows to the dream, we are the Coach-Pupil League.
Gets the people going. Let's look at StarCraft players that we can raid. Don't know who you are, don't know who you are, don't know who you are. Alright, let's raid 80's mullet. Make sure you say hi to him. Make sure you ask him where his mullet is. And the raid will be ready here in just a few seconds. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Play CPL, play StarCraft Underground. FrdgRdr forever. Bye, y'all.